Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the US re-entering the UNESCO. Broadly, the editorial touches what has been going on when it comes to international treaties, some countries, especially the US, leaving and re-entering, exiting and rejoining. So it says it is not a good thing, and these organizations have to be strict with those countries who quite often exit and try to re-enter. This is a broad framework, but it is purely based on it is from the US point of view, though it is about the UNESCO. There are some important words, and today you're going to work on spot the errors and not parajumble. You're going to work on fillers. You're going to work on phrase replacement, to some extent challenging. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. Not too many words. Frivolous, an important word we have got for the first time. Part of speech adjective, behaving in a silly way and not taking anything seriously. Frivolous behavior, a typical combination. Frivolous reason, one more. Seize, part of speech verb, we have got a few times. To stop something. Seize means what? To stop something. Ostensibly, I think we got last week part of speech adverb, ostensible adjective, appearing or claiming to be one thing when it is really something else. It sounds familiar, this word, ostensible, ostensibly. Ensuing, part of speech adjective, happening after something and because of it. Something happens after something and because of it. Ensuing, following. Proffered, we have got for the first time. This is different from prefer, proffer. Don't think the spelling is wrong. It's a separate word we have got for the first time. Proffered, part of speech verb, to offer something by holding it out or to offer advice or an opinion. More than holding it out, advice or an opinion. Short change has two meanings. One meaning goes with the financial aspect, but in this context, a different meaning altogether. To treat someone unfairly by giving them less than they deserve. You give someone less than what they deserve, then we use the term shortchanged. To treat someone unfairly. Propel, we have got many a time, part of speech verb. To push or move something somewhere, often with a lot of force. Usually we use this propel, a positive word, to push in the forward direction. Staunch supporter, a typical combination, staunchest adjective, staunch also adjective. Always loyal in supporting a person, organization, or set of beliefs or opinions. You support someone or something, you are a staunch supporter. Ally, we have got many a time. Part of speech noun, a country that has agreed officially to give help and support to another one, especially during a war. In the past, during a war, now at the time of elections. I'm sure you all know that. Paranoid, one word form, but paranoid adjective, here paranoia, part of speech noun. An extreme and unreasonable feeling that other people do not like you, are going to harm or criticize you. More than liking, it is more than criticizing, it is a feeling that other people are going to harm you. And this is an unreasonable feeling that other people are going to harm you. And the word paranoid adjective form, paranoia noun form, an important word. Patents, this word is in the limelight. When we talk about IPR, intellectual property rights, we talk about patents. Part of speech noun, the official legal right to make or sell an invention for a particular number of years. Imagine you have invented something. Because you are the inventor, you should have some advantage. Keeping that in mind, for some years, you can use that, others cannot use for a stipulated time period. That is known as patent, singular, patents, plural. Repertoire, a new word we have got for the first time. A stock of skills or types of behavior that a person habitually uses. In this context, not a person, a country. Tussle, we have already got part of speech noun. To have difficult disagreements or strong arguments. Tussle is like a fight. Surveillance, if you read the newspapers, you come across quite often part of speech noun. The careful watching of a person or place, especially by the police or army, because of a crime that has happened or is expected. Under surveillance, this is a common expression. Troves, part of speech noun, we have got for the first time. A large amount of something good, useful, or valuable, or a place where this can be found. Troves of treasure, a typical expression. Formidable, an important word, it goes with formidable enemy, formidable competitor, formidable company, part of speech adjective, causing you to have fear or respect for something or someone because that thing or person is large, powerful, or difficult to deal with, or CCTV surveillance, a typical expression. These are the words from today's editorial, and not an important editorial, but you never know. Sometimes you may get a passage based on UNESCO. That is an important thing. Culture shift, you cannot understand. On the US's UNESCO re entry, what is the main idea? As I said, it's all about exiting and re entering. UNESCO must get strict with nations exiting and re entering on frivolous grounds. This is the main idea. It is about UNESCO's policy or stand it has to take. And what is the editorial opine? UNESCO must get strict. Here, whatever is in green, grammar related. We have got this many a time. I don't mind repeating. Must is a helping verb. It has two functions. One, it is used to express a personal obligation or an obligation imposed by the speaker. In this context, the editorial. The other one, the other function of must, it is used to convey the idea that something is compulsory. But in this context, it is like expressing a personal obligation or an obligation imposed by the editorial. UNESCO must get strict. It has to be strict with what? Nations exiting. Here it is exit. Exit can be a noun, can be a verb. Here it has been used as a verb. Nations exiting and re entering on frivolous grounds. There are two things over here: exit, re enter. If they do it on a solid, based on a solid reason, obviously no issue as such. But for frivolous, on frivolous grounds, silly reasons not cannot be justified. UNESCO has to be strict. Frivolous means what? Behaving in a silly way and not taking anything seriously. Yes, that is good. You have to recollect the definite article a rule that goes with before names of some countries. We have to use the definite article the. And Anusha has written all those countries. Please have a look. That will help when it comes to consolidation. How does it start? There should be some stimulus or trigger to write this editorial. The United States said earlier this week that it was rejoining the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Based on this, this editorial has been written. The US said earlier, here it is in green. Whenever you come across verbs like said, told, asked, ordered, warned, immediately you have to think of indirect speech. But here it doesn't follow the rules, and you have to think of the actual statement. Said earlier this week that it was rejoining. Actual statement, perhaps, we are rejoining. We are rejoining present continuous. Because the reporting verb is in past, it changes to past continuous. And here the US, we have to use a pronoun it. It was rejoining the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO. This is a stimulus to write the editorial. In 2017, the Trump administration withdrew from the organization. Here, the organization means UNESCO, after the Obama administration ceased funding in 2011. Cease means to stop something. In this context, stop funding. So this is about when did the US withdraw? Way back in 2017. Based on what? After the Obama administration ceased funding in 2011. Now it wants to rejoin. The reason for the US's return, why does it want to rejoin or why does it want to return? You may wonder why the word return in green. It goes with common errors. A lot of people say return back. A return means to come back. Return back is a wrong expression. Do remember, you have to recollect that. Return back, a lot of people say. Return means to come back. Another word, revert. Revert back also not correct. Revert means to get back. You cannot say revert back. Do remember these two. The reason for the US's return is ostensibly. I think we got this word last week or the week before that. Ostensible. Appearing or claiming to be something, but it is actually something else. Obviously, apparently, it looks like something, but it may not be the same thing. It could be something else. Apparently, the reason China, but there could be some other reason. The reason for the US's return is ostensibly China, with senior US administration officials stating that the US's absence had helped China gain more influence in setting the rules around artificial intelligence and the ensuing technological shifts. So, this is related to China in a way. At the same time, it is related to the rules and regulations that go with AI or artificial intelligence. A lengthy sentence. The reason for the US's return is what is the reason to return? Ostensibly, apparently, obviously, China at the outset, but there could be some other reason. With senior US administration officials stating that the US's absence, it was not there for some years, 17 to 2023. And what was the impact of this? US's absence had helped China. It is in green. Had helped past perfect. We have the causative verb help. You have to recollect the rule. Causative verbs in active voice do not take the preposition to, but they do take in passive voice. Active voice they don't take. What are the causative verbs? Help, important ones, make. There are two more, let and get, not that important. Helped China gain more influence in which field? In setting the rules around artificial intelligence and ensuing, an important word. Ensue means happening after something and because of it. Absence of the US, one thing, and because of that, something happened. Ensuing technological shifts, changes around artificial intelligence, and the ensuing technological shifts. For a change, an important standard phrase. This is the first time. Whenever we use the ordinal numbers, we have to use a definite article the first, the second, the third. That you have to recollect. For a change, this is the first time that China has been proffered. Has been proffered. It is in present perfect passive voice. What does it mean, proffer? To offer something by holding it. That is one meaning. But in this context, to offer advice or an opinion. In this context, more like offering an opinion or the reason that China has been proffered as a reason for the US's re entry into, rather than its exit of a multilateral treaty. What does it mean? Usually, for the US to leave a particular international treaty or multilateral treaty, to leave, the reason is China. But in this context, the China is again the reason, but not for leaving, but it is for re entering. That is a little paradoxical. During the pandemic, it talks about the past, what happened in the past, and from how many international treaties the US withdrew. During the pandemic in 2020, President Trump announced 2020 past, so verb in past. President Trump announced the US's withdrawal from funding the World Health Organization. The year two, when he moved to withdraw the US from the Paris Agreement. When Trump became the president, In 2020, two things happened. All these talk about the withdrawal from the multilateral treaties. One, withdrawal from funding the World Health Organization. The other, he immediately announced to withdraw the US from the Paris Agreement, an important agreement related to climate change. This followed from the Trumpist worldview that why did they withdraw, or why did the Trump administration decide to withdraw? This followed from the Trumpist worldview, their view that the US was being shortchanged, is being plus verb past participle, present continuous passive voice. Here, was being shortchanged, past continuous passive voice. Shortchanged means what? To be treated unfairly by giving them less than what they deserve. Was being shortchanged by major polluters such as China and India. In the case of, so the reason for that, one reason, the feeling that they were being shortchanged. That means they were not being treated fairly. The second reason, in the case of withdrawing World Health Organization, uh, stopping the funding to World Health Organization, the reason, in the case of World Health Organization, the case was over its inadequate response time. I'm sure you all remember World Health Organization did not respond immediately. There was some delay. That was the reason the case was over. Its inadequate response time to the gravity. Here gravity means seriousness of the pandemic originating in China. Following political change, now who is the president? Joe Biden. Related to that, following political change, President Joseph Biden has now brought the US has now brought present perfect active voice back into the fold of funding World Health Organization as well as rejoining the climate treaty. During the tenure of the Trump administration or regime, World Health Organization, they stopped the funding, they withdrew from the Paris Agreement, and certain things happened. Now it has changed under Biden's administration. He has brought the US back into the fold of funding World Health Organization, one thing, as well as rejoining the climate treaty. I should have brought this in green. Whenever you see expressions like with, along with, together with, as well as, and some more are there, do remember and recollect one important rule. What is that? When we join two subjects using any of these expressions, the verb agrees with the first subject. That you have to recollect. Unlike in that list, we have this word as well. Unlike the America First policies that propelled the Trump administration's exits, propelled to move forward, to push, to use a lot of force to move something. What was the reason? The reason for that exiting America First policies, unlike the America First policies that propelled the Trump administration's exits, the US's UNESCO re entry has little to do with why it exited it in the first place, which was, as it was believed, an anti Israel bias or prejudice. A lengthy sentence, a bit difficult to understand. Unlike the America, at the time of the Trump administration, when Trump was a president, it was a different policy. What was the policy? America first policies. Preference should be given to America. That was the mindset that propelled the Trump administration exits. Now it is we are talking about re-entry. What could be the reason? The US's UNESCO re-entry has little to do with. This is an important expression. Little means here little, a little, the little. If there is no article, you got to be a little careful. Has little means has nothing to do with why it exited it in the first place, which was as it was believed. People believe, it was believed, it is in past tense, passive voice. An anti Israel bias, anti, again, you have to be alert. ANTI against, ANTE before. Here, against Israel bias. The US then and now remains Israel's staunchest ally. There are two words over here. Remains, it is in present tense, so it is in green. Staunchest ally. Staunch means very strong supporter. Ally, usually at the time of the war, in the past, a particular country joins hands or supports another country, we use the term ally. Now it goes with politics as well. Staunchest ally and does not recognize Palestine. Present tense negative does not recognize Palestine. It is not unreasonable. Again, in present tense, usually we say it is reasonable. Here, opposite. It is not unreasonable to infer that the re entry is a sign of America's growing paranoia about China. We can easily infer that the reason for America's re entry, the fear of China, paranoia about China, fear about China. Paranoia means what? An extreme and unreasonable feeling that other people do not like you or are going to harm. In this context, more like other people are going to harm. Generally, we use this term, here it is a noun. We use this term as in the adjective form, paranoid people. Means a lot of fear. In this context, fear about China. It is also appropriate to recall that the Reagan administration withdrew from UNESCO in 1984 for some reason. This is not the first time leaving and coming back. It happened during a Reagan administration. When was it? Way back in 1984. It is also appropriate, relevant to recollect that the Reagan administration withdrew from UNESCO in 1984 for, among other things, for means the reason, because of what? Advancing Soviet interests that time. Developments in AI are slightly different from historical technological developments. Now it comes to the present reason. Artificial intelligence, China playing a crucial role in formulating the rules and regulations related to artificial intelligence and other technological developments. Developments in AI are slightly different from historical technological developments. Slightly different, not substantially, slightly different from what? Different from, this is also an important combination, historical technological developments. How are they different? Here, product patents. Patent, an important word. It is in the limelight. The official legal right to make or sell an invention for a particular number of years. After that, it becomes generic. Anyone can do it. But for some time, only the inventor can either make or sell a particular thing. Here, product patents and the enforcement have helped countries. It is in present perfect. Patents and the enforcement have helped countries such as the US maintain their edge. Because of patents, the US could maintain its edge. But with artificial intelligence, China, along with a rising repertoire, an important word, means what? A stock of skills, of patents and research publications, has the advantages of a much larger population. China is in a better situation. China, because of what? Along with a rising repertoire of patents and research publications, has the advantages of a much larger population. We all know China when it comes to population and a more powerful surveillance state. Because of these two factors, it is in a better position. This feeds into a cycle of generating greater troves of data. Trove, an important word. A large amount of something good, useful, or valuable, or a place where you can find. It talks about, imagine a lot of people are there. Obviously, they can do research, they can produce a data. Keeping that in mind, this feeds into present tense, a cycle of generating greater troves of data that in turn feed and improve machine learning systems and that make its AI far more formidable. Because of the population advantage, China can generate more data that in turn will feed and improve machine learning systems. and that make its artificial intelligence far more formidable. An important word. Formidable, causing you to have fear or respect for something or someone. Imagine a lot of data. Obviously, it can improve machine learning systems and also it can improve AI. Obviously, other countries will consider China formidable. Unlike other technologies, not like other technologies, unlike other technologies, no country can have a sustained natural edge in AI indefinitely. It is not possible to have, no country can have a sustained natural edge in AI. Not possible to have a sustained natural edge when it comes to artificial intelligence. They cannot have. Sustained means allow something to continue or maintain. America might bring, here we have a helping verb might. It relates to possibility, but the chances are less. May chances are more, might chances are less, and both the function possibility. America might bring in at least 600 US million dollars in outstanding dues to the UNESCO, but it is high time, and countries such as India would do well to point this out that the organization gets stricter on countries. Here, some students may wonder, it is high time. I think last week or on Monday, many a time, whenever we come across it is time, it is high time, the verb should be in the past form. It is time you started your preparation. It is time you went there. But here it is not in the past, it is in present. Students may wonder how come. Do remember we have rules, and these rules go with a particular pattern. It doesn't mean that you can apply the same rule all the time. Here we don't use it, the verb is not in the past because of one particular word. What is that word? That. Then the rule is not applicable. It is high time. Don't consider all these words. And countries such as India would do well to point this out. Forget about those words. It is high time. The organization got stricter. That is one pattern. It is high time that. Because of the word that, you don't have to change the verb into past. It is high time that the organization gets stricter on countries. Please remember, pattern matters, context matters. Countries exiting and entering on frivolous grounds. Main idea is being reiterated, silly grounds, they have to be strict, alongside framing policies and research that accommodate the tussles of a hyper connected world. Tussles, fights, difficult disagreements, or strong arguments of a hyper connected world. Connected, hyper connected, hypo. Hyper means hyperactive kids, one expression. Very active, more than what is expected. Hyper connected world. So it has to accommodate, it has to be strict, one thing. Alongside, it has to frame policies and research that accommodate the tussles, the fights of a hyper connected world. That's all about this editorial. Coming to the questions to test your reading comprehension skill, what is this editorial about? What is the reason for the US's return? Easy to answer. It is not unreasonable to infer what in the context of the editorial. Something is not unreasonable to infer. What is it in the context of the editorial? Why did the Reagan administration withdraw from UNESCO in 1984? What is the reason behind? What feeds into a cycle of generating greater troughs of data? Cycle of generating greater troughs of data. Keywords, navigate, locate, and you can easily write the answer. Now let us go to practice questions based on, that's what I said, you have to look at the pattern, you have to look at the context. Based on exam topics, first four questions go with error location. Please read the sentence, first sentence, try to spot the error. India is set to import 8 million barrels of Iraq oil to fill its first strategic petroleum reserve. Where is the error? India is set to import 8 million barrels of Iraq oil to fill its first strategic petroleum reserve. No, nothing wrong with is set. It is a fact. We have to use the verb in the present form. India is set. Naveen, you're almost there, but not the exact word. No, it's first. Then you cannot use a definite article. The. No, 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 no. All of you remember, sometime back I said, ordinal numbers take the definite article the first, the second. Not every time. Here, you cannot say it's the first. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's first, nothing wrong. Don't generalize. When it comes to English, we have rules, we have exceptions. Never try to generalize. Blindly, we cannot remember, you should not remember. First means the. Look at the pattern. Look at the context. Here, we cannot use the definite article the because of the pronoun, possessive pronoun its first attempt, its second attempt. There is an error. Answer is not the fifth option. NAD Academy, there but not the exact word. Here we cannot say Iraq. We have to say Iraqi oil, Iranian, Iraqi. So IRAQI, not in the possessive form, adjective. Iranian carpets. That way, adjective form has to be used. Iraqi oil, Iraqi currency. The question is based on adjective, word form. You don't have to use a possessive form. Iraq's oil, no, Iraqi oil. Some students could spot the error where it is, but they could not write the correct word, no problem. A uniform policy for regularizing and redeveloping illegal and old buildings is being submitted to the government by the end of this month. Lengthy sentences. Please go to the next one. No, no. You all think the same way. No, 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 no. Almost 10 students is being submitted. You are not reading the sentence. What I understand, if you read the sentence completely, you will not say submitted. Whenever you read the sentence completely and look for the time phrase. By the end of this month, that refers to the time that goes into future. If you talk about an action that will be over or that will be completed by a given time in future, then we have to use future perfect. A uniform policy for regularizing and redeveloping illegal and old buildings is being submitted. How can we use present continuous? Is being submitted by the end of this month. Either it has to be, is going to be submitted. Is going to be submitted. Is being submitted, we cannot use. They are submitting by the end of this month. But actually here, by the end of this month, something will be over. Based on that, we cannot use present continuous. We have to use future perfect. Forget about all these words. We'll make it simple. For a policy, a uniform policy will have been submitted. Will have been submitted to the government by the end of this month. Now I see Ajay has got it. Will have been submitted. Based on what? By the end of this month. Here the time goes into future. By a given time in future, some action will be over, some action will be completed. We have to use future perfect tense. Future perfect. A new policy will have been submitted by next month, by the end of this month. Here, will have been submitted. It should be in passive voice. Future perfect, passive voice. Not will have submitted, will have been submitted. Not will be submitted. Please go to question number 3. Before paying the developer's sales office a visit, make sure you're aware on the fancy marketing pitches being used by them to lure potential buyers. Allure means to attract. Fancy, attractive marketing pitches. Where is the error? Lengthy sentences not easy to handle. You got to read carefully and you have to respect every word. And I've been telling you guys, whenever you read a sentence to spot an error, you have to look for the time phrase. That is the first thing you have to do. Before that, you don't jump, don't take a decision. Look for the time phrase. Based on the time phrase, you decide. This is an easy one. Many students have got it right. Be aware of something, aware of, based on the prepositional combination. Aware of something. Yes. Please go to question number 4. Nothing wrong with developer sales. Where is this? Developer sales office. Nothing wrong with that. Thousands of international travelers, double L British spelling, single L American spelling. Thousands of international travelers were stranded at the airport as 50 pilots from airline A went for strike. Many of these questions are from previous year's papers. You understand the standards and you understand where exactly you stand. No, nothing wrong with were stranded. Thousands. Thousands, here it is a noun. Of international travelers, put it in brackets. Thousands were stranded. Nothing wrong. There is an error. Answer is not the fifth option. There is an error. No Ajay, no Varaprasad, Tripura Sundari. There is an error. When first strike is not correct, on strike, there is a combination, go on strike. We have to use a preposition on. They went on strike, not first strike. What is the correct preposition? On. No one has got it right. Has anyone got all the 4 correct? Error location. Now I see Manoj, Shyam went on strike. On strike. They are on strike. They went on strike. Remember, we have double fillers. Read the sentence, understand the context. Based on the context, choose the appropriate pair. Considering that owns and cities can be, towns and cities can be drivers of economic growth, we must review the progress of various urban development programs and at building smart cities. Okay. Difference between what? What is the difference means? Not clear. NAD Academy, can you elaborate? What is the difference? I'm not able to make out. What exactly is your doubt? Answers, many students have said the third one, but one says fifth. Considering that towns and cities can be crucial drivers, you can consider And invest at, you cannot use the word invest here. Worthwhile drivers, I don't think so, excuse me. Decide at building, no. Key drivers, important drivers you can use. And aim at building smart cities, you can use. Expensive drivers, not correct. Safeguard drivers, not relevant. So what is the answer? The third option is the answer. No, no, no. Wrong preposition. Went for strike is wrong. Prepositional combinations are also known as fixed prepositions. We cannot change the combinations. The word strike takes a verb go, it takes a preposition on. Based on that, go on strike. I hope you got it. Go to question number 2. A report suggests that some people will be able to money through social networking sites, which is further proof that the boundaries between banking and technology products are fast. Before you see, you have to think of fast disappearing, a standard expression. But here, disappeared, grammatically not correct. Fast moving, no. A report suggests that some people will be able to transfer money. Hold this. Banking and technology products are fast dissolving or disappearing. Hold this also. To send money, you can consider are fast paid, grammatically not correct. To transact money, we don't use the word transact in this context. Fast moving does not go with the context. Had it been disappearing, correct, but not authorized. Invest money through, no, not the right word. What is the answer? Has anyone, only Tirupati Rao has chosen the first option. Answer is the first option. Only one student. All others. Here what happens, let me spend a few minutes. This is a lengthy sentence and there is a context. There are two ways of dealing with this question. 99% the candidates, what they do, they try to look at the options. Every option they use grammar knowledge. They try to eliminate. That takes a lot of time. And they don't have the habit of, they're not exposed to the language. It is understood. 1%, those who read the Hindu regularly or any English newspaper and magazines regularly, that 1%, when they read the sentence, when they come to the last part of the sentence, please listen very carefully, which is further proof that the boundaries between banking and technology products are fast. Before they see the options, they know the word is fast disappearing. They think of the word disappearing. Then they look for the word disappearing, but here it is there, wrong form. Then they look at the other options, the first option itself, dissolving. Disappearing, dissolving. It's more or less the same meaning. Based on that, without any doubt, without any hesitation, with immense confidence, they choose the first option. Except one student, no one else has got the first option. Now I see a few students, Ajay, Naveen Kumar, Venkata Vasu, Anusha, Suresh, all these students say first option. Please go to question number 3. The number, an important phrase, takes a singular verb. A number takes a plural verb. But read the sentence. The number of people with hunger in middle income countries is over 300 million, and government need to reform existing food distribution systems to this menace, this problem. The number of people dying with hunger you can consider. Systems to fear this menace, not the right word. Menace means a problem. You fight, you combat. Afflicted, yes. Afflicted with hunger. Afflict, to cause someone to suffer, experience pain. Combat this menace. You can consider this also. Suffering with hunger. Pursue is not the right word. Pursue this menace does not make any sense whatsoever. Flight with hunger, not the right word. Fight or flight, a different meaning altogether. Flight means to escape. Study this menace? No. Exploited with hunger, destroy. The number of people exploited with hunger does not go with the context. So, what is the answer here? Second option is the answer. Afflicted with hunger, they have this hunger problem. We have to find a way to combat this menace, fight this menace. One word is enough to choose. Answer is the second option. Go to the next one. Suffer from. By the success of a pilot project in a tiger reserve last year, the government has plans to use drones for electronic surveillance of tigers in across the country. Menace, threat. It means threat, danger, threat. That is something that causes harm. Stray dogs is a menace. Reckless driving is a menace. They have given in bank exams descriptive English. The same word, an important word. Please mention the question number. Here there is a clue. Success. You cannot use a negative word. Reminded. No. You need a positive word. Encouraged. Hold this one. Announced plans to use. Seems right. Permitted by the success. Enhanced by the success. You can consider not in this context. What is the right word? Encouraged by the success. Government announced plans to use drones. Answer is the third option. Many students have got it right. Good. Let us go to phrase replacement. Lengthy sentences, but easy to answer. The fast food industry. I think it should be fats, huge fat. I think it is fast food. Fast food. The fast food industry has long been under fire for the selling huge high fat, high calorie meals that have been linked to weight gain and diabetes. One, obviously, you cannot get all the four correct. Three, you should be happy. Industry singular has long been grammatically not correct. Have cannot be used. Is being long grammatically not correct. Is long been. When you read this, you have to know for sure. The fast food industry has been present perfect. Has long been a standard expression. Answer is the second one. Has long been something. Breathing fresh air in this city may be easier than in three other major cities in the state that are battling increasing air pollution. Oh, already answered. Easier than. Which option is that? Third option. Easier than. Then is not correct. Easy than comparative form is required. Not the superlative form, not the superlative form. What is the answer? Third option is the answer. The whole idea behind providing higher education is to ensuring that students gain a respectable position in the society. Easy. This is also easy. Comparative degree, yes. Third one is to ensure, basic form or infinitive with to. You cannot use any of these. Are to be ensured, is for ensured. Grammatically not correct. What is the purpose? What is objective? to ensure that students gain a respectable position in the society. She is one of the most famous comedians in the country and does not need any introduction. Both are entirely different. Then goes with comparison, comparative degree or comparative form. If you take degrees of comparison, we have positive form, comparative form, superlative form. We use the word than in the comparative form. He is taller than, it is bigger than, it is more beautiful than, he is more intelligent than. Then refers to events. First something, then it also means later. It has a different meaning altogether. Here the subject is third person singular, sentence is in present tense. Here this clause is in negative form. Based on that, does not need any introduction, nothing wrong, no correction required. Perfect. Yesterday we got a lot of words, and today it is really challenging. 17 words, if you get all the 17 right, great. And many words are new words. See if you can get write the part of speech, write the meaning. All the 17, 15 plus is also highly appreciable. I will appreciate. All the four correct, good. Bharat, Shyam, Ajay. Fragile, tenuous means fragile, delicate, easy to break. Very good. Part of speech, adjective. I'll write the part of speech. Tenuous relationship, tenuous reason, tenuous plea. Weak, fragile, delicate, easy to break. Plea, noun. Plead, verb. Plea means what? Urgent and emotional request. Urge, synonym. Urgent and emotional request. Part of speech, noun. Indictment also noun. Indict, verb. No problem. What happened, Ajay? Are you all right now? I hope everything is fine. Not request. Indictment means officially say that someone has committed crime. Not simply accusation, allegation. Officially state that someone has committed crime. Allegation, accusation different, indictment different. Here you have to remember the word official. Officially say that someone has done something wrong. Then we use the word indictment. Do remember the word officially. Bipartisanship. Obviously noun. A situation where two parties which usually oppose each other come together, agree to work together. Two opposing parties agree to work together. Exactly. Then we call it bipartisanship, part of speech noun. Yes, formal statement, officially. Vitiate, part of speech verb. Opposing parties come together. What is the meaning of the fifth one? Destroy or damage. Very good, Anusha. First one. Destroy or damage something completely. Willfully, obviously, adverb. To do something willfully means what? To do something willfully, intentionally, deliberately, with the intention of doing what you want to do. Perfect. Espionage, an important word. Part of speech, noun. Havoc, wreck. No, good. Tirupati Rao. Please go to the seventh one. Simple word you can remember, spying, related to spy activities. Discovering secrets of political or military info of another country. Yes. Knowing secrets of other country. Simple word, spy, spying. Breach can be a noun. There was a breach. They breached something. It can be a verb. Breach means what? One meaning goes with concrete buildings, crack. But here a different meaning altogether. Break or violate an agreement, a law, a relationship. Tripura Sundari, yes, you're right. Arraign, an important word. Part of speech, verb. Breaking an agreement or law or relationship, violating. Contract, contract also. Transgress, good. Go to the next one. We got this for the first time. To ask the accused person whether he is guilty or not. Perfect. To ask an accused person in the court of law whether he is guilty or innocent. Hush money, obviously noun. Secret money. Why that expression, Naveen? Secret money. Money that is given to ask to keep something a secret. Yes. Felony. Usually Americans use this word. It goes with crime. Money given to hide something. Very good, Girija. To keep something a secret. Felony. Felony, no one has answered. Serious crime, and the punishment could be for 1 or 2 years or more years. Yes. Hoard can be in the context of the editorial verb. Hoarding, noun or verb. Here, hoard, verb. Hoard petrol, hoard provisions, hoard files, based on the editorial. Illegal hoarding, you're using the same word. Illegally hiding something. To collect large amounts of something and keep it in a secret place. You could say that as well. Culpability, culpable crime, culpable adjective, culpability noun. Hoard means to hide. It goes with petrol, money, files, provisions. Culpability, no one has answered. The fact deserves to be blamed. Something that deserves to be blamed. Culpable crime. That is right. Scarce, part of speech, adjective. What does it mean? Considered responsible for something bad. Yes, good. Join hands with someone illegally. For which one? No, no. Scarce means dearth, shortage, lack of something. Meager. Yes. Dampen, verb. It's a regular verb. Dampened our spirits. Dearth, lack, shortage, insufficient. You can use all these. Very good. What is the meaning of dampen? It is a negative word. Make something less strong. Usually it goes with excitement, happiness, dampen their spirits. Fortify, part of speech verb. Fortified, past form. Not wet literally. Dampen someone's spirits means based on the context you have to write. Someone is excited, very happy, and someone else will try to bring down that happiness or excitement. Then we use the term dampen. Fortify means to strengthen. That is right. To make something stronger. Remember the word fort. Very strong. Fortify. Behow we got for the first time. What does it mean? 16 over. It is right for someone to do something. Right for it is correct or right for someone to do something. Very good. Behow. Part of speech verb. It can be a noun as well. Has anyone got 15 plus? Then it is outstanding. That's all for today. Hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. Do remember to subscribe and share. I will see you this evening at 7:30, and the session will be about exam topics vocabulary. 15 is good, 17 very good, outstanding.